Commission meeting Tuesday, April 23rd, 2019, 6:30 p.m. I see we have a lot of folks in the audience today. Glad to see the residents of the city of Pahokee and our guests. We have our invitation by Brother Bobby and following pledge of allegiance. Can everybody please stand?
Let's pray. God, again tonight as we come before you, as we have this meeting for the city of Pahokee, I just ask you, Lord, let it be a great meeting. Let it be a meeting where things are decided that need to be decided. And have your will, we pray. Give our leaders your wisdom. And we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, this is our City Commission of City of Pahokee regular commission meeting Tuesday, April 23rd, 2019, 6:30 p.m. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Bath,
Present.
Commissioner Bowman,
Present.
Commissioner Everett,
Here.
Commissioner Hill, Vice Mayor Mervin,
Present.
City Manager,
Here.
City Attorney,
Here.
Lieutenant Piccolo,
Here.
City Clerk, present.
And we will follow our agenda items. Next we have addition, deletion, and approval of agenda items.
Madam Chair, point of privilege, I have a question, maybe you can answer this, the city manager. I see we have an additional footage or camera. Can someone provide some knowledge? Because I know we're providing
My understanding is down.
that already. City manager,
I don't have a camera here. I didn't bring that camera.
is our camera, is it working? Okay. So why do we have that additional camera here?
I don't know why that camera was there. I don't know who it belongs to.
Okay, so can we, city, attorney,
Is that your camera?
is that your camera?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do we have, I don't think we have consent to have other camera in the
Camera footage.
our footage, because we have, footage already here.
Vice Mayor, anyone in the public can bring a camera and record the meeting if they want to. And you know, your system is not live streaming anymore. So anyone in the public can record this meeting and put it on YouTube if they want to. So all the people in the audience could in fact bring out their cameras and record this meeting tonight if they want to.
So we don't have to have consent for,
Absolutely, yes.
Anybody? Okay.
so can we back to our addition, deletion, approval of agenda items?
Yes, Madam Chair, I would like to move the Medina lease update up before possibly, if possible, before resolutions, after the approval of minutes.
Will there be any more addition, deletion, approval of agenda items? If not, can we get a motion to move up the marina lease update?
I would like to offer a motion that the marina lease update be moved up under the approval of the minutes. I don't see we have any consent agenda items or ordinances, so it'll be moved right above our resolution.
Second. We have a motion and we have a motion by Commissioner Everett, second by Commissioner Boland to move the marina lease up. Any questions? No questions, roll call.
Commissioner Everett,
Yes?
Commissioner Bowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Hill, Vice Mayor Mervin,
Yes,
Mayor Bath.
Yeah.
we have a unanimous approval of moving the marina lease update up before the resolution. Citizens' comments, agenda items only. Madam Clerk, do you have any citizen comments?
No, sir, no, ma'am.
Public service announcement also should have you filled out with comment card. And do we have any public comment cards, Madam Clerk?
No, ma'am.
Approval of minutes, can we get the motion for approval of February of 2019 workshop minutes?
Madam Chair, from an order, I'd like to offer a motion that we accept workshop minutes, February 12th, 2019, as have been printed for our, for our approval for tonight.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Everett, second by Commissioner Bowen for our February 12, 2019 workshop minutes. Any questions? No questions? Roll call, City Clerk.
Commissioner Everett,
Yes?
Commissioner Boland,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
Yes.
Mayor Bab.
Yes.
We have no consent agendas, no ordinance, so now we go to the marina lease update. City Manager?
Thank you, Commission. Citizens, thanks for coming out tonight. I think at our last commission meeting, we discussed hiring a scheduler to work along with whoever the selected contractor would be with this project. At first, with that recommendation coming, I didn't know the gentleman. City attorney introduced him to this body that same night. I was in communication with, I think it was the INSEC, if I pronounced that correctly. If I don't, my apologies. We then went through a process of what we typically do when we hire for services. We request W-9 references, etc. We also requested a proposal. You saw the proposal. It was generic at best. So I requested a more robust proposal, came back with a new proposal. I wasn't completely satisfied with what he presented to this body, to the city as a professional services, but I was given a directive. And so I set up a meeting with the CNSA for this past Monday. He didn't show up for that meeting. He requested that I sign the proposal before the meeting, which I normally do not do in this nature. But I did send him an email indicating that I missed him at the meeting and I'm available by phone, or if he wants to discuss, getting together in the meeting and seeing how his services can assist the city. So we also in that meeting had
Madam Mayor, may I
conversation.
comment on this? Because what the city manager just told you is not correct.
Well,
And I'd like to correct it,
let me
if
finish.
you would like.
Well, let me finish my report. They asked me, so let me finish. That's my recollection, and that's on email. I can provide it to you if you want.
I got all the emails.
All right, great. Now, moving on. At that meeting, last meeting, we were instructed to hire a professional firm to provide Ms. McCall and her agency some information to move the 3 leases forward. City attorney provided, an explanation why we needed that information. After the conference call on March, I think 7th, we had some more clarity on which way we were going to go with these 3 leases. And so we went back and we started putting together a plan that we thought was sufficient to present the 3 leases to the governor and cabinet. And that presentation came in the form of a letter. We worked on that letter probably 2 weeks or so. I presented some drafts to the city attorney. He presented back to me some revisions. You saw those revisions. You saw the emails. And I thought that we were, moving towards getting something of substantial to Ms. McCall and her office to move the leases forward. After much delay and much revisions, with me and the city attorney working together to get a letter that we thought was sufficient, the city attorney decided that this wasn't sufficient. And we had to go back to the drawing board and develop now a comprehensive plan for presentation of Cheryl McCall. And he stated that Cheryl McCall would not move this forward unless she received that comprehensive plan. I didn't receive information that we needed a comprehensive plan. In fact, up until this was announced, I had revised a letter recommended by the city attorney that we both agreed to move forward. So nonetheless, that occurred between April 1st and April 5th. I was still a little taken aback that we had to write or hire someone to write a comprehensive plan to move these leases forward. So I gave a call to Cheryl McCall's office on April 8th. That was Monday. Of course, Cheryl McCall didn't respond back. We had a commission meeting on April 9th. And at that April 9th meeting, it was then reiterated that we needed a comprehensive plan to move these three leases forward. And much to my, displeasure, I didn't think we needed to hire an outside entity for thousands of dollars to write a letter that was already approved and already had the body of the information that Cheryl McCall requested. I think it's wasteful spending when we do that. I think I'm a very decent writer. But I moved forward after that commission meeting, after the city attorney stated we need a comprehensive plan, and I gave it some thought. And I didn't move forward with hiring an outside entity to write a comprehensive plan. I felt what we had put into writing in that letter was sufficient for Cheryl McCall in her office. So Cheryl McCall gave me a call. She gave me a call back Friday, which was April 12th. In that conversation, I mentioned to Cheryl McCall, do we need a comprehensive plan, as stated, to move these leases forward? She emphatically said no. She did not say that. She did not state that, and none was required. I then asked Cheryl McCall, the letter that we had drafted, would she review it for sufficiency? I sent that letter to her on April 12th at 4:15 p.m. At 4:27 p.m., Cheryl McCall wrote me back. And she said this letter indeed embodies all of the information that we need to move these three leases forward. She asked me to revise one particular paragraph, and that would be it. April 15th, Monday, I wrote a final letter to Cheryl McCall's office and in attention to Brad Richardson. They approved that letter. That letter was overnighted at Cheryl McCall's office the very next day. I also asked Cheryl McCall to verify receipt of that letter and confirmation of all of the items in it that she required to move those three leases forward to the governor and cabinet. She then wrote me back again and verified that this is all the information that they were requesting to move this conversation forward to the governor and cabinet. I then wrote another email to Brad Richardson verifying that, and he did write me back again and verify that this is the information that they needed. They did not require a comprehensive plan. They never instructed us to have a comprehensive plan. And they were in receipt of the letter that we received, and they were moving the leases forward. So at this time, the three leases are moving forward. First, Cheryl McCall and Brad Richardson, based on the letter that I wrote, and they verified. I have all of their emails that they confirmed that they did not request this of the city of Pahokee. So that's where we are today. You got an approved letter in Tallahassee. You have our three leases moving forward to the governor and cabinet, most likely by June. That's verified in this email as well. You also have a verification of the deed restriction, of the deed release on the 34 acres. That's moving forward. We hopefully to have that to the board by July. That was verified in email also. So the two pieces of information that the state required have been on the city's part concluded. I did advise Cheryl and Brad that if you need additional information, that we are available for questions. So that's the latest. I feel that we have been diligent in this process of moving these three leases forward, but we've had some hiccups along the way. I think pausing to try to create an extensive, comprehensive plan was not needed. It actually wasted our time. And we are, aggressively trying to move this conversation to the governing cabinet. You have investors that are waiting too long to get this thing started. I've been in conference with them about what are the next steps as far as this project is concerned. They even had one unavailable for me to meet, the so-called scheduler that we were gonna hire when he didn't show up. So, again, we can't allow misdirection, misinformation to stop this project and get this city moving forward as far as the marina is concerned. We want this information, it's here for your review. This administration has done its best to be, forthright and certainly, transparent. I think the mayor once said that this administration is the most transparent he's seen in quite some time. So we're not here to point fingers at anyone. We're here to move this city forward. But that's the information I have on the marina, Commissioner Everett.
I will say this, that there's never a good time for tough decisions. There will always be an election or something else. You have to pick courage and do it. Governance is about taking tough and even unpopular decisions. I too have been given forwarded some emails with regards to conversations that you have just stated with regards to Ms. Cheryl McCall. I don't know, I'm very perplexed tonight. I really am. Our community has been the most polarized that I've seen. It seems to be very divisive, so much to the point that I have taken personal privilege of even deactivating my Facebook page. Because of, I know my temperament and my need to respond sometimes. And so to not respond to the insults, the name calling, individuals who should be about creating some type of economic thrust in our community, have persons who are sending very inflammatory statements via email and via Facebook posts and all of these things. And people that should be protecting the interests of our city is, in my opinion, and what I can see, is getting in the mix of the foolishness that is pervading in our community. Sometimes we just have to make tough decisions. This is just my position from what I'm seeing, what I have viewed, and might make me unpopular. But one has to do what conscience tells him is right. And I'm offering a motion that we sever the relationship that the city has with our current legal. And commission, you do what you feel is best, but that's the position that I'm taking tonight, that we sever the relationship with our current legal staff.
We got a motion on the floor. Can I get a second? And then you say, I'm gonna pass my baton and I'm gonna second the motion. And, have any questions? No questions? Roll call, city clerk.
Commissioner Everett,
Madam,
Yes,
may I address these issues before you vote on them?
Well, no, you can't because there's a motion already on the
the
floor.
motion has been made and seconded.
I ask a couple of questions? I mean, you moved pretty quick. I didn't really get a chance.
Well, the motion is on the floor, we ask question. Motion, go ahead, Commissioner.
No, I would like to understand what the city attorney has to say for himself. I mean, before we move something.
That's right.
Okay.
That's all right. So the motion is on the floor, and there is a second, roll call, city clerk.
Commissioner Everett,
Yes,
Vice Mayor Mervin,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowman,
No.
and Mayor Bab.
You know what, it's been a pleasure representing the city. I wish you the best of luck in the future on all your endeavors. I would like to say that the oration that your city manager just gave you was like probably the worst,
City attorney.
full of misconceptions and lies.
Walking out the door, let him speak for God's sake.
There's a motion, there's a second, there's a roll call.
That's supposed to be on the.
Lieutenant Piccolo, can you please escort Mr. Brandon Bird out of the,
I got some receipts for you, Brandon Bird. They clocked that.
Hey, listen, everybody, I've really had a great tenure in the city, and I really appreciate this. This obviously orchestrated item this evening is totally within the city.
it's not your place to talk, Mr. Harris.
You know what, I'm gonna talk, because I believe in project management, which has been lacking in this city, which is why we are here where we are today with all of these contracts.
Lieutenant,
And this is a shame on all of you. You don't need to escort me, Lieutenant. I will escort you. This is a travesty. You should be ashamed of yourself. Mr. Chandler cannot micromanage any longer, and you are allowing him.
Vice Mayor, it's been a pleasure. Commissioner, good luck. Commissioner, good luck.
And this is not the last you have heard from me.
Madam Chair, this is ridiculous. And Lieutenant Piccolo, we have 2 deputies here. And had it been anyone else, you would have been ushered them out of this place. This is the sacred chambers of this commission, and whether we agree or disagree with the decision made, you do not have disturbances like this. And I'm appalled that she was not escorted, or anyone for that matter, because there's a particular decorum that needs to be had in a meeting, whether we agree or disagree. I've been here 35 years almost, and there's a lot of decisions a lot of folks made on this sacred dais that we did not agree with, but we did not disrupt the meeting like it has been disrupted today.
next, we have a motion.
And Madam Chair, I will provide comments to the citizens as to why, more in depth in my comments as to why I took the position that I took with regards to severing the relationship with legal staff. If you got eyes and you roll Barfield and you see who's cleaning the hospital, you'll know why. Partner.
We also have, well, I took it upon myself, I am gonna say, I took it upon myself this past week, as Commissioner Emerald said, I will provide my comments at the end, on my comments of why I took that stand also. But I took it upon myself to talk to legal advice. And and they are here tonight that can sit in interim here until we was to choose city attorney. So I'm gonna ask and make a motion that tonight that we were appoint Attorney Weeks to sit in as an intern tonight for the city committee until we was to find a permanent attorney. That's my motion. Well, I can't make a motion. Well, I will pass my baton again and make a motion to have Attorney Weeks please come take the stand and then I'll take it back. We need a second.
Okay, you're offering a motion
I offered the motion. Yes.
to, for Attorney Weeks to be the interim city attorney
Yes, until we was to choose the
until we would choose permanent legal.
Yes.
I second.
Any questions? Roll call.
Yeah, question.
Go ahead, Mayor Bab.
I just want to make sure the legality of doing that, we don't have a contract in place, even though it's on an interim basis, with the attorney you're referring to. We have no agreement that's been made. I think that what we need to do is continue the meeting. Any meeting that require legal input should be tabled until our next meeting. In the interim, we can then select or choose a city attorney for the intern
Well, Mayor,
position.
Mayor, that sounds in perspective, but we have some things on the table that we require some legal recommendation, guidance tonight. And so, I hear
You
what,
had an opportunity to review any of those.
I agree with you, but for sufficiency of how to get this meeting, out the door and concluded tonight, I would strongly recommend that, we place this interim city attorney here tonight, or I can't correct the motion, but maybe for the next 48 hours, where we can then work out some type of agreement. But I would recommend that we move forward with placing this attorney here tonight, just for sufficiency for this meeting.
And I would like to speak. Can I speak? I think that we need to take a breath here, because I think that's kind of a shock to us all, maybe not to everyone, but it's kind of a shock to me tonight. And I think that we need to take a breath, and before we decide that we're gonna hire anyone, we need to make sure.
We're not hiring,
We're not hiring, this is interim.
I understand, but she will be our representative, is that correct? Or
That's not
she's
what we said, she's an interim, she's interim right now for the meeting.
Well, she would still be our
She
legal
would still be our
rep.
legal representative.
Well,
Yes.
understanding that what things that lie ahead immediately, we have some things that we have to move forward with.
And it's not something that we can table for 2 weeks
No,
until we do
no,
this.
no, Commissioner Bowman. I strongly recommend we place Attorney Weeks tonight.
I don't see anything on this agenda that could be tabled for 2 weeks. Is there something on this agenda that I'm not aware
Well,
of?
I'm looking beyond this agenda. We have things that are pending in this city that have been held up. One is the conversation with the marina, and we've gone back and forth with Tallahassee. Now we realize we got the
But you
most
just
erroneous
said
information.
that
So,
we took care of all of that.
but
that
there are
you took care
still
of it with your
legal
letters.
things that we need legal representation on moving forward, starting tomorrow. Now,
Such
yeah, your
as?
city managers did a lot of the lead work over the last 7 days, but we need legal representation. And so, we need to place someone here tonight in an interim basis. I don't care if it's for 14 days, but we need to place someone here tonight. That's just my recommendation. I don't get a vote, but I think we need to place someone tonight to make it legal.
And
as
she
we
just
move forward in
happened
this
to
process.
appear in the chambers tonight.
That's not my conversation.
Can I say something?
I'm a little
You got several
shocked.
attorneys here.
Well, it's a lot of things tonight that I was shocked about.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, I'm gonna save my comments until, later at the bottom of the agenda, because one of the things I do not like, and I know, Mr. Morrison, you have told me in private conversation not to say this, but I'm choosing to take a road that is, less traveled, and that may make me unpopular, and that may make me a one-term commissioner. But it's a lot of things that have taken place, not only tonight, but leading up to tonight, that we were not all made aware of. And I will not pontificate on that until later on the agenda. But Ms. Mervin, so we don't mince words, Mrs. Mervin stated earlier that she sought legal advice concerning concerns that she had in her comments prior to you speaking and the city manager speaking. Now, I will concur with the city, with the mayor, with some of his concerns about contracts and all of that. I'm quite sure that we're intelligent enough, regardless of how some of the Facebook bandits may feel, that we're intelligent enough to pull Mrs. Weeks to the side and call emergency meetings and have those conversations and those dialogues about contractual agreements, expectations that we have as a commission concerning legal representation. So You know, regardless of how